Hello pals, welcome to another tutorial. In today's tutorial, we are going to be making this dress with a deep V neckline and ruched sides. This is a request from a subscriber, so we are going to be going through the cutting process together, and I'm going to explain the sewing part to the extent possible. So if this is what you are interested in, you want to continue watching this video, click on the like button, subscribe to this channel, turn on your notification, and let's get started. So the first thing you are going to do is to draw the starting line. So this is the starting line. So I came down by half of an inch for the starting line. So now from this starting line, the first thing you are going to be marking is your underbust measurement. So my underbust measurement is 12. After that, you are going to be marking your waist measurement. Your half length. So my half length is 14 and a half. Then you are going to be taking your shoulder to hip measurement. Mine is 25, and now we are going to be taking the gown length. So go ahead and mark exactly where you want the length of your gown to be. So for me, that is 36 inches. So now we are going to be drawing a straight line across each of these points. So this is the underbust line, this is the waistline, this is the hip line, and this is the gown length line. So now let's label this. This is the shoulder line, the underbust, the waistline, the hip line, and the gown length. So at this starting line, we are going to be taking the neck measurement. So place your tape here and measure 4 inches. So if you don't want the neck to be wide, then you can use 3.5. So for me, I'm going to mark 4 inches because the neck is wide. So when you mark 4 inches now, this is going to be a V-neck. So now, to determine how deep your V line is going to be, what you are going to do is come to your underbust line and then go up by 2 inches. Now you are going to connect from that 4 inches to this mark. So this is what is going to give you your deep V neckline. So after this, place your tape at the starting line again and divide your shoulder measurement into 2. So mark that, then come down by 1 inch here. Then connect it towards the neckline this way. Then you are going to be taking your armhole depth from this point. So divide your bust measurement into 6 and add 1.5 to that. So that will give you your armhole depth. So for me, it's 7.25. Then I'm going to draw a line across it this way. Then connect from your shoulder slope to this line. So this is your armhole depth. So now locate the middle of this line. Then after locating the middle, go in by half of an inch. And now come to your chest line. This is your chest line. Now place your tape straight like this. And then divide your bust measurement into 4. So mark that. Now you are going to be taking your curve. So you are going to be using it for your armhole. And you are going to connect these 3 points together. So mark this way and draw your armhole curve. So now for this bust measurement, we are going to be adding 1 inch for the seam allowance. After this, go to your underbust measurement, divide your underbust measurement into 4. So mark that, then you add 1 inch seam allowance. So this measurement, there's not going to be a dart for this measurement because the material, this is an elastic. You are expected to use an elastic material. So divide your waist measurement into 4 also on your waistline and add 1 inch seam allowance. Now come to your hip line, divide your hip measurement into 4 and add 1 inch seam allowance also. Then go to your gown length and what you have on your hip line, we have 10.25 there. So subtract 1 inch from that. So instead of marking 10.25, that means you are going to mark 9.25. So now connect from your bust line to your underbust to your waistline. Then take your hip curve and connect from your waist to your hip, and then from your hip to your gown length. So you notice that there is no dart. I didn't take any dart measurements here because the material used for this gown is is a stretchy material. So you're expected to use a stretchy material also. So the next thing you are going to do is come to your underbust line. So bring your curve like this and place from that V line, from the end of your V neck to your under bust. Just mark out the curve like this, and that's all you need to do. So now we are going to be cutting this out, and we are going to be dividing the pattern into two, the upper part and the lower part. So now this is this. So you are going to be cutting out the upper part now. So you are just going to cut on your under bust line and then follow up to that V neckline. So this is the upper part. So now we are going to be working on this upper part. We are going to be using the slash and spread method. So this shoulder space now, I'm going to be dividing it into 3. So you can use 1 inch interval as your spacing. Then I'll just come down like this and draw it out. I didn't measure it, but I just draw it out. So you can just use 1 inch if you want to measure for your spacing. So now I have about 4 lines here, and we are going to be slashing these 4 lines. So you know how we slash, you are going to cut it up, but you're not going to cut it through. You are going to leave a very tiny space there so that it does not cut through. So now you are going to be spreading this out on your fabric. Well, because I'm not going to be sewing this style, so I'm going to be spreading it out on another pattern paper so as to explain this. So what you are going to do is just pin it as much as possible. Spin the shoulder part so that that can be in place. Then this lower part, spread it about 1 inch interval. You can see what I'm doing here. I'm leaving some space, so leave 1 inch interval from the other. Now take your pencil and connect it together, the base. You can see the lower part. So try your best possible to follow the pattern, follow the curve, and then connect it like this. I'm still going to use my marker to connect it, but let me use my pencil so that it's going to be easier for me to do. So the next thing I'm going to do is to add half of an inch to this lower part for the stitching allowance. So you want to do the same. So after marking out my pencil, now I'm going to be using my marker to trace this out. So now I'm going to get my scissors and I'm going to be cutting this out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow the side curve and the armhole. Then at the shoulder area, I'm going to add half of an inch for seam allowance. And this V-neck hairline also, I'm going to add half of an inch for the same allowance. So now you are going to be cutting another piece of this. You are going to be cutting 2 pieces for both sides, for the right side and the left side. And now while sewing this style, you need to line this upper part. So I'll advise that you use the same stretching material for the lining. But if you if you're not using the material for the lining, then you can use another. You are going to be cutting 2 of these. But if you are using the material for the lining, so that means you are going to be cutting 4. So what you are going to do is that this lower part, you are going to make a gather there, and you are going to be gathering it together. You know the way you do the gather. So this is what it's going to look like. But you are going to leave about 2 inches space before you start gathering it at this front part. So you are going to do that, and then you are going to first line it. Make sure that you turn it with your lining before making your gathers, and then after making your gathers, you are going to be stitching it to the lower part. So now we are going to work on this part. So this is the waistline. Let's label it to know. So what we are going to be doing here is also like a spread and slash method. Slash and spread method. So just mark 3 inches interval from the waistline all the way down, and then take your ruler and connect it straight down like that all the way down. You already mark your 3 inches interval. So this is the hip line. So that's why I'm making that mark so that I don't mix it up. So it's not part of the 3 inches we are drawing. So now from that, you are going to be slashing it also. The 3 inches, you are going to keep slashing it all to the end. So now you are going to be labeling it, the one you slash. So label it. I labeled 1 to 7. Now you are going to be spreading it on your fabric. So you are going to fold your fabric into 2. So I'm going to be spreading it on a pattern paper here. So I have my pattern paper folded into 2. So now you can after labeling it, you can cut it through. So this way you'll not be able to mix it up. So what you are going to do is, from the point where you slash, from each cut, you are going to place this properly, pin it to your fabric after folding your fabric into 2. Now after you've pinned this one down, now you're going to be leaving 2 inches interval for your spread. 2 inches interval from one to the other. I can see that I left 2 inches before I fix number 2, left 2 inches before I fix number 3. So you are going to do the same thing, and you are going to make sure that it follows accordingly. That is why you number it, so that you don't mix it up. So now you are going to take your pencil and just mark, follow the curve like that. You can see what I'm doing. Just follow the curve so that you can see get your body shape. Follow the curve all the way down. Then this lower part, you leave 1 inch for the hemming allowance. So I hope you get that. So now come to this upper part, and you are going to be leaving half of an inch for the stitching allowance to stitch it to the upper part. So you are just going to mark out half of an inch. Then you can go ahead and cut this out. So now you can go this hip line, you are going to notch it. So hold your fabric together like this and notch that hip part, and also where your slash started from, below the waist there. So where you can see where I'm folding, so where your slash starts from, you are going to notch that part, because that is where you are going to start your gather. It's not going to be from the waist. You are going to start your gather from there. So now you are going to be gathering it like this. You are going to place your gather from this part that you notch all the way down, and then you are going to gather it like this. So this is what it's going to look like. I'm just trying to demonstrate what it's going to look like by the time you gather it. So you make your loose stitch all the way down, and then you draw it and gather it and adjust it accordingly. So it's going to be on both sides. So after you do this, then you are going to be fixing the upper part to it. So now we are going to bring the upper parts now. So after turning it with your lining, you make your gather on it, but you are going to be leaving about 2 inches or 1.5 inches at the front part before you make your gather. So you are going to gather it like this. So I'm going to try to use my pin to demonstrate what it's going to look like, so that you can imagine, you can see what the end look is going to look like. So I'm going to use my pin now and hold it together, so you can see what I did there. You can see that I left space at the beginning here before I did the gathers, and now you can see that it already sized the space that we created here. So that is what it's going to look like. And the side also, you are going to make, so it's going to be rushed like that all the way down, and you are just going to adjust it. So after doing that, the essence of marking that hip line is, after you make your gather on both sides, so you are going to measure from your shoulder. Make sure that what you have there aligns with your shoulder to hip measurements, and you're also going to make sure that what you have also align with your gown length measurements. So if it did not align, then you have to adjust it accordingly. So that's the essence of notching it. So on this waist part now, there's not going to be anything. It's going to be flat. So now we are going to be cutting the back part. So remember that the back part, is not going to be a zipper, so you can leave it on fold, since it's going to be an a stretching material that you are going to be using. So it does not need a zipper and does not need a dart. So the first thing you are going to mark is your half length. Mine is 14.5. Then mark your shoulder to hip, and then mark your gown length. So now draw a straight line across these points and label it accordingly. So now come to the starting line and measure what you use for your neckline for the front. I used 4 there earlier, so I'm using 4 for the back, and I came down by 1 inch. So the back is not going to be deep, it's going to be high. And now from this center, mark your half of your shoulder measurement, come down by 1 inch, then connect it to your neckline. Then from the shoulder slope, get your armhole depth, the same thing that you did for the front. Use the same measurement, then draw a line across it this way, then connect from the shoulder slope to this line, then locate the middle of this line, and at the middle this time around, you can go in by 1/4 inch for the back, and then connect this with your curve. Before connecting with your curve, divide your bust measurement on your chest line, divide it into 4, and then connect it together this way. So now add 1 inch as the same allowance to the side on your bust area. Then come to your waist, divide your waist measurement into 4, after dividing it into four, mark it and then add 1 inch for your seam allowance. So there's not going to be that also, because it's a stretchy material. It's going to form with the body. It's going to like hold the body form. I hope you understand what I mean. Just going to go with the body flow like that because it's stretchy. So the hip area, divide it on your hip line, divide your hip into four, add 1 inch seam allowance. What you have on your hip measure on your hip line, subtract 1 inch from it and mark the same on your gown length line. So now connect together from bust to your waist, and then from the waist to the hip line with your hip curve, and connect from the hip to the gown length line. So this is what you are going to be doing if you are using a stretchy material. So you don't need a zip, you don't need a dart. So but in case, then you are just going to cut this out and that is all. But in case your material is not so stretchy or is not stretchy at all, so you will need a zipper allowance. So go ahead and mark your zipper allowance, and you will need a dart. So I'm going to be demonstrating that now. So come to your waistline, divide your nipple to nipple measurement into 2. So use that for your dart allowance. Yes. So mark that on your waistline, then go up by 4 inches and go down by 4 inches. Then draw a straight line to connect these 3 points. I hope you get what I'm saying. So now on your waistline, you are going to be taking 1/2 inch on both sides, your dart intake. Now connect this upward to meet the 4 inches here on both sides, and connect it downward also to meet that 4 inches on both sides. I hope you get that. Now on your waistline at the center where your zipper is going to be, don't forget to take this 1/2 inch away so that it's going to remove your zip purge for you. So just connect it downward this way and connect it upward this way, and don't forget to add your zipper allowance. We don't have a zipper allowance on this pattern. So after you've taken this out, now you have to replace the dart. You already took out the dart, so you have to add 1 inch to the waistline on the side here for the dart that you already took out, if your material is not stretchy, and connect it like this. So this is all you are going to be doing. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next. Bye.